What's happening, team? Hope everyone is having a wonderful Sunday so far. Um, yeah, team. So got a couple of questions in regarding um, just the live Q&A. A couple people reached out ahead of time, so thank you to those that reached out. I appreciate it. Um, but yeah, I just kind of want to kind of have this be a little bit of a stream of consciousness. We can just kind of go with the flow on it. There are a couple things that I want to talk about and to address with you, and just ultimately, you know, have some fun with this, and we'll see what happens. Um, but yeah, so I have been have been really thinking about a lot of this and trying to make sure that I am doing the best job I can, providing bodyweight workouts for everybody and making sure that, we're progressing in an appropriate manner. So if you're someone who is new to the workouts and you're super sore, take into account that we've been building up, since day one. And also don't overestimate the recovery process, and movement modalities like walking. It is a very much um, underestimated tool that you know we have in our back pocket. And things like foam rolling, biphasic stretching, parasympathetic breathing. These are all things that I really like to push for my clients, and my members of Morning Sally um, of the Buckingham Fitness family and the Game Day Fitness family and the CrossFit Arrow family. And it's been really great to help, um, you know to help provide some insight and information to people. So that's what I want to do with this Q&A. And so if anybody does end up having questions, please let me know. Feel free to do this in the chat. I do now have a Zoom link, so that is something that we can use in the future if we wanted to do like a webinar of sorts. Those are going to be a process, as the Buckingham Fitness business gets a little bit more um, into the online world, but also doing Zoom conferencing. That way I can actually, see people and interact and engage with you. But yeah, had a question come into me this morning, about movements, and what do I do if I can't do one of the movements? And um, you know, listen to your body, challenge it. But if it's something where there is pain, get out of pain. The last thing that we want to do is train in pain. That old adage, no pain, no gain, is a bunch of crap. And, you know, um, pain is not a thing that our body will respond well to. Our sympathetic nervous system, the more we continue to go into pain, the more our body's gonna fight against that. So if you've had knee pain for a long time and then you just don't do any squats or any deadlifts or any lunges or things like that, well, yeah, your body's gonna, just stay in that pain zone and it's never going to get better. And so one of the things that I really like to do, is to use a term called grease the chain. Because if you had, let's take a rusty bike chain, for instance. Morning. If you have a rusty bike chain, if you just let the bike chain sit, it only continues to add more rust. It does not get better. It does not, uh, it doesn't change. It just stays rusty. And so with our body, um, my doctor, Dr. John Russin, he called it greasing the chain, and I've been using it ever since because it truly is. You need to start greasing the chain. You need to start polishing it. You need to start optimizing it for performance. And the only way to do that is through movement. Now, that's not to say like if you have a broken femur that you should be, going out and doing. No, that's you need to rest. Um, and you really want to make sure that your body is healing appropriately, but at the same time, if you've gone to physical therapy, if you've gone to your doctors, who are then saying, hey, you need to look at increasing exercises or increasing movement, and whatever they are saying, you need to go and do those things. A lot of times, especially after physical therapy, I've been in physical therapy, oh my gosh, probably 10 to 12 years of my life. From the age of 10 to 19, I was there all the time. Um, hashtag fragile. What's up? Um, but it was one of those things that after I was done in physical therapy, there was nothing after. Like there wasn't a prescribed thing to do, or I didn't have the knowledge of what to do after. And a lot of people that I have come into contact with also haven't known what to do after. And that's where myself being a personal trainer and a coach, I can then facilitate that post recovery. And so, yeah. So with those movements, if you don't know how to modify, that's why I try to give a couple tips during our at-home workouts, like, hey, this is what you can do if this is happening. Again, I won't know what everybody's feeling or how everybody's moving simply because I can't see that. But for instance, if you're having trouble holding a plank out with both hands because your shoulder's bothering you, try going to a forearm plank. Maybe that can help. If not, get out of the plank or potentially go to your knees while you're in a plank position. Be on your knees so that then you are not having as much pressure on your shoulder. If it's something where you have a hip issue going on, that's a whole nother ball game. If you have a pec or a lat, up under here, your trap is doing something. If there are issues, we're going to have compensation issues through our body. Issues might be a bit of a harsh term, but compensation patterns that our body likes to move through or tries to move through because it's protecting itself. That's where the sympathetic nervous system comes in, because if you've had pain or trauma or things like that, our body's really good and really smart at compensating and getting us out of it. But there are consequences to that, or there can be consequences to that, such as, well, when I raise my arms, my right arm goes up, but my left arm, I don't know, it's just always done that. Well, we need to identify and analyze that and see if it is something that is genetic or if it's something that, you just don't have that additional range of motion to get your arm up. So there's a lot of different things, a lot of different variables. And, so modifying workouts, simply, do your best, try to have as much stability as possible. And if you need to change up the movement, the first thing I would say is don't go as far into the range of motion. For instance, on a squat, don't go all the way down. If it hurts or if you can't do it, don't go all the way down. Go halfway. That's great. Have your hand on the wall or have it on a chair as you do it, so that you can get better at those things. Again, grease the chain so that you can then do the movement, increase your ability to perform. Got a question here. How about pre and post workout food for, I'm going to guess that's fuel, not dual. Are we dueling? I think it's fuel. And is there a time frame, 30 minutes before or after? So fuel before, I'm definitely a big fan of eating at least an hour to an hour and a half prior to working out. For my set, that's for me. That's my preference. You could, have something fuel. You could have something 30 minutes prior, 15 minutes prior. The problem that a lot of people tend to run into is they try to eat too much before, and then they get nauseous in their stomach. That food is just sitting at on the top of or in their stomach, and it's like, oh, my belly. You can get an upset stomach, especially if you pound a protein shake before you go into a workout. And so I would just be very careful on how much you are eating prior to. Um, and it's interesting that that gets brought up because a lot of times after workouts, so talking about the post side of it, a lot of times people are like, well, I earned this and I'm going to eat my calories back because I burned, the treadmill says I burned this amount, so I'm going to eat that many. And first and foremost, that treadmill is not accurate. Sorry, it's probably 30%. It's probably giving you 30% extra the amount of calories burned. So just be mindful of that. Or if you have a watch or a Fitbit, um, there's there are better ways of tracking how many calories you actually burn. Um, my preferred method is a heart rate monitor if you are trying to do that. But post recovery, we don't want to just eat all of the calories that we just burned, especially if weight loss is your goal. So if you burn 500 calories in a day, you don't want to add another 500 calories to your eating because then, well, you're just going to stay level. And then you're going to be like, well, why am I not losing weight? Why am I not? Because you're not in a caloric deficit. Um, so just be mindful of those things. Fuel after workout for myself in particular, I like to eat 30 minutes to an hour and a half after, especially with some protein rich foods. So I will have eggs and toast. I'll do a breakfast burrito. I will do a peanut butter sandwich with a protein shake. Um, so yeah, and pre-food, like I eat very light before. Again, I don't want that food sitting on my stomach or drinking too much water prior. I mean, I drink plenty of water, but I don't want to drink too much because then I feel like the water's sloshing in my stomach. Um, and so just be mindful, but also listen to your body. If you're eating 2 hours before, yeah, you can have a big meal. If you're eating 20 minutes before, might not be the best idea to have a massive meal and then go straight into 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour long workout, um, especially if it's going to be high intensity. So that's what I would recommend. That's what I try. I mean, I'll have a banana with some peanut butter. So I have fats and carbs, not a ton of protein there, but my fuel sources during workouts are going to be primarily fats and carbs. So um, for cardio workouts, I would do more carbs. For strength, I mean, you can kind of go all three: proteins, fats, carbs. Um, Again, you're going to find what works for you. You just have to dabble in and see what those are going to be. One thing that I do want to talk about is peanut butter because yesterday um, this guy was asking for vegan protein sources, and time again, I keep seeing that that protein is being people are pushing peanut butter as a protein source, and it's not. It's not. Okay, peanut butter has twice as many fats as it does proteins, and so when you're looking for protein sources, you want to look at chicken, turkey, lean ground beefs. You want to look at eggs, um, tofu for the vegan crowd out there. Tofu. There's soy proteins. There is pea protein powder. There's PB2, which is powdered peanut butter that takes out like 70% of the fats. And then all you do is add a little droplet of water to it, mix it around, bam, it is delicious. And it's peanut butter. And you can have so much more of it. Um, and then there's PB Fit that I believe is protein packed. Um, but peanut butter itself is not a good protein source. And this is coming from someone who eats, I eat more peanut butter than any of you. Just hands down, I eat more than any of you. I love peanut butter. I love it. I'm just saying it's not a good protein source. And I understand that. So the more protein I want to get from peanut butter, the more I would have to eat. And it's a very calorie dense food, which means that I would have to increase my calories so high to get just a little bit more protein versus something like chicken, where with chicken, it's very protein high and not and not terribly protein or not terribly caloric calorie dense. So you gotta understand where your goals are and where you're going to get your food from, um, and just am I fueling my body? Am I just having this as a snack? I'm not saying stress out about it. Don't stress out about it. I used to binge eat peanut butter because every time I brought it in the house, I had to eat all of it. Like my mind was like, you have to eat all of this so that it's no longer here. And that's what I would do. I would literally eat a jar of peanut butter. And it was not healthy. It was not a healthy relationship. Now I have it throughout the day. I put it on bread. I'll have it with a banana or an apple. Um, I'll put it in my oatmeal, things like that, where I can still have the thing that I want, but I don't have to stress out about, oh my gosh, I have to get rid of all of it now. And I had a very unhealthy relationship with food, especially when I was over 200 pounds. I'm down 45. I've been down as low as 55 pounds under that, and now I'm right about the weight that I like to be at. And it's just about building healthier relationships with food because it can be a very, very unhealthy relationship. Um, but any thoughts on hydrating? How much is enough? How much is too much? Storla, that's going to vary person to person. One of the things, so my brother is an exercise physiologist. He has his doctorate in that, and he has given me some really good information. But typically, and there's plenty of stuff online, like through the Mayo Clinic, some other really valuable like PubMed, public medication or public medicine. I believe that's what it stands for. But they have a lot of research out there regarding how much someone should hydrate. Like throughout the day, it's really going to depend on the person. But one of the best ways that you can analyze that is by your urine color. So if it's really yellow, it could be saying that you're, you know, dehydrated. If it's too clear, you might be overhydrated. Again, it's really going to vary person to person. My brother does at the Mary Free Bed Rehabilitation Center in Grand Rapids, Michigan. He is the lead exercise physiologist there and runs the lab. And he'll do things like a sweat test to determine, because I'm going to sweat differently than you are, than he is, than she is, than they are. Everyone is going to be different. So just kind of, you know, check in with yourself when you use the bathroom. Because just full disclosure, yesterday I was like, oh yeah, I haven't had water in 2 hours. I should get some water. And then especially if you're exercising a ton, if you are working out a lot, you're going to be sweating more. Your body is going to be depleted of more of the water simply because you'll be sweating it and expending that energy. So that's just going to be something that you would have to self-monitor. Typically, people in the medical side of things are saying that half of your body weight in ounces. I have been hydrate, feel great. Yeah. I have, especially for people who work out a ton, I have personally said in the past, like, well, you can go to 3/4 of your body weight in ounces, especially if you're going to be working out a lot. Now, that is a personal um, thing that I do and things that I have said. Now, there isn't a there aren't studies out there that would necessarily back that up. However, if you're going to be drinking half of your body weight in ounces without exercise and just as general maintenance, I don't feel that it is necessarily a bad thing to do 3/4 of your body weight in ounces if you are working out and really, maintaining a lot of expenditure for your body. So, and I'm trying to educate myself better on that too, because I certainly don't want to give out false information or things like that. But so there's a lot more that I need to learn. That is something that I have said in the past, and I think that if you are earning your sweat, you're gonna have to hydrate. So yeah, but great question. Also, this is tea. Before anybody gets weirded, this is tea, but there's like if we can see it. Oh, wow, this light is really bright. Can we? Anyhow, it's a very faint pale yellow color. It's tea. I poured it last night, um, and that's kind of the middle ground for that urine that you're looking for. A nice pale yellow. But great question. As I drink my pale yellow tea. But yeah, thank you, Starla, for that question. Anything else that people are curious about? I'd like to start doing a quarantine Q&A or a quarantine coffee hour, something like that. I don't know. I'm working on it. But again, just trying to be able to help people out. The at-home workouts have been so much fun. I'm really appreciative for the people who've been joining live, and it's just been fun. I'm very grateful, and really trying to help us all stay sane during these insane times. What is happening? But that being said, especially from I had a phone call with a client yesterday who, or was it 2 days ago? Doesn't really matter. They were talking. We were talking routine. And it's hard to have a routine right now on one end, and then on the other, I think it's the best time to have a routine. For myself, I am in bed by 10 and up by 6:20 every morning. Normally, I'd be about 10 p.m. and then wake up around 5:30, 5:45. The last couple of weeks have tested that though, and because every day feels like a weekend. I own a small business and I can't be with my people. But I offer online training. And if anybody is interested in that, please let me know. I am taking new clients. But also, it's just one of those, like, I like being in person and being with people at the gym. I have no access to that. And so I could let my routines and the way that I, do my day in, day out stuff, I could really let this affect me. Or it's like, no, hey, now I can work on this. Oh, hey, now I can work on that. Oh, hey. And that doesn't mean, stretch yourself in 18 different places, but it does mean this could be a really great opportunity. Storla, you and I are both in the acting world, in the entertainment industry. Everyone is turning to us when they go to Netflix, but guess who doesn't get to work right now? Us. So we have to figure out what is best for us right now. Do I get better at line memorization? Do I do some script analysis? Do I create videos on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or whatever it is so that I can continue to be creative, continue to fulfill the desire that I have day in, day out? And so I love the routine that I have. I just scheduled out my next couple no, excuse me, couple days of work. Tomorrow I have 3 hours of work before our workout at 9:30. I'm working from 6:30 to 9:30 so that I can get a huge a huge chunk of my day super productive. I check things off my to-do list so that by noon, not only did I get some massive things done, I could, if I wanted to, I'm not going to, but I could be done for the day. But that's where time management, you know, building healthy habits, restructuring a lot of, the mental aspects of this is really going to come into play on whether or not like we take advantage of this or we let it take advantage of us. Because frankly, I'll be damned if I let this get a hold of me or, you know, take me down. Yes, I've had my moments. Yes, I've had my tears. Yes, I have really struggled with certain aspects of this. And I've also really loved this. I've loved that I've gotten to learn some new things. I just signed up for a new certification because it's like, look, I don't know that I'm going to get this time again. This amount of time. I mean, we still have. Last I heard, it was April 24th for Georgia. I don't. It might be pushed to May 24th. It might be pushed to June. We don't know. So, okay, let me take advantage of this. Let me look at this in excitement and from a abundance standpoint and not a scarcity standpoint. The abundance mindset versus the scarcity mindset. Um, we can look at this as a really great opportunity, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to choose to look at this as, holy cow! If I have this time, I want to make the most of it. And don't get me wrong, like I'm not trying to work 10 hours all the time. I already do that. But now I can also, I've been playing video games lately. It's been fun for me. I've really enjoyed playing video games, and I forgot how much joy that brought me. But had this not happened, I wouldn't have remembered that. But now also when I'm done with my work, I can just kind of tune my brain out, go into a different world. I'm a big fantasy guy, playing Skyrim. If anybody out there knows what I'm talking about, so much fun. Um, but I'm also like allowing myself to recharge and reset my batteries. Because if we just there's a healthy balance. It's that work-life balance that we want to find, and so just be generous with yourself, especially as you're trying to start new routines. Flossing every night, that is one of my goals. I'm putting it out there. I'm not good at it. I have a metal retainer behind these teeth, and man, I just don't like flossing, but darn it, that's one of my goals. So I'm going to make it a point to do that. Now is a time to start developing better habits and healthier habits. Get off your phone, read a book, stop. I hate it. I hate this thing. I love it and I hate it. I mean, I love her and him, but that's me. Gotta love yourself. But the phone, I've started to notice how much I check it and how often I check it. It's driving me mad. And so now every night at 5:30 or 6 p.m., can't remember right now, I put my phone on airplane mode, and I don't, because I don't want it. I don't want to be. I've been on it, 7, 8, 10 hours of the day already. I don't want to be on it anymore because I need me time. I need my space. My space. It's funny because I'm saying it on Facebook. Um, but give yourself permission to disconnect. Um, might be the worst time to look at the news right now. There's a lot of stuff out there, or at least look at the more reliable news sources. I'm not going to say what those are. I just you have your own personal preferences, but right now the media is really doing a lot, whether that's good or bad. I'm not going to say, but there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of information, and sometimes we just need to disconnect. Like, hey, Al, I'm gonna put you down. I'm gonna check you out in the morning, but I'm gonna work on me. I'm gonna meditate. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna journal. I'm going to um, spend time with my partner. I'm going to hang out with my dog, or I'm gonna watch cat videos on YouTube or something. Now, if you need your phone for that, yeah, keep the phone up, but for the laptop. So anyhow, if there are no questions after that rant, yeah, team, thanks for tuning in. If you guys do have questions or any gals are curious about things, let me know. I want to serve. I want to keep being a place for people to go to. So, yeah, if you have questions, please ask them either privately or in the group. Some other people might have the same questions. So I highly encourage group questions. And if I don't know the answer, I will tell you. If someone else has a better answer, I will ask them and figure it out and talk and communicate and try to deliver that information as best I can. So, yeah, team, have a great Sunday. Cheers to you. Expecto Patronum. It's a really cool mug. I like it. But have a great day. I love you. And we'll catch you tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. for workout day number 19. Haha. We'll see you, team. Bye.